Well, strap yourselves in, folks, because this video might be a long one. I'm hoping it's not, so we can get through this together and just be done with it as soon as possible. But before we get started, hi, I'm NikoTheLegend, also known as a well-mannered teenager, snowflake, rambling idiot, and vigil. And today we're talking about things you should know about Dragon's Dogma 2, more things. And I thought I covered everything I needed to know for you guys to know about Dragon's Dogma 2 on the previous video, so I appreciate you guys checking that out. If you haven't, blah blah blah, chill, check it out. This, we're just covering loose ends on what other people have been wondering and some of the comments have been talking about in the previous video. So let's get started on that. There's a lot to talk about, and I'm telling you, there might be a few things that you're not gonna like coming out of my mouth from what information is about to be bestowed upon thee. All right, here we go. All right, now this first one is something that easy to understand. It's, do you need to play Dragon's Dogma to understand the sequel? No, you don't, because the story is the typical your guy has amnesia trope and you don't remember shit. So that's great. So that gives the guys over at Capcom Dragon's Dogma 2 a fresh start to challenge new ideas and do all that crap, but somehow tie into the parallel world that you saw in Granz's from the original game. So they're gonna tie in somehow, maybe not in the most obvious way, but along the way we will learn from our pawns and contextual clues and stuff that these worlds are more connected than we thought. It's just not so blatantly obvious. But yeah, you don't need to know the story for the first game to enjoy this one, because your guy has amnesia. The end. Now, as mentioned in the previous video, I talked about how a demo was going to come out for the game, and as soon as I was pretty much done with the video and ready to upload it on YouTube, a demo did come out. Not the most convenient demo in terms of playing Dragon's Dogma 2 in itself. It's just a character creator and storage. So what does that mean? Well, you as the player can download the demo anywhere you find it. That's what platform it's being released on, which is Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam. Download it for free. You check it out. You create a character and your main pawn, and then whatever you created will transfer over to the full game if you decide to buy it. I guess they're really trying to market the character creator, because as I mentioned before in the previous video, the character creator in the first game was absolutely amazing, and this one seems to just take it up to an 11. Now, you get to make up to 5 hero characters to save and 5 pawn characters to save. Now, with that said, remember, it will be transferred over, and you'll have it readily available to you as soon as you start playing, I believe. Now, the one thing I don't know with the pawns, I don't know if they're going to be uploaded to the Pawn Network. I couldn't find that any information on that in any of the articles that I read, that I've stumbled upon. If anybody knows the answer to that, let me know down in the comments below, please, so everybody else knows, because that would be great if they allowed you to have this option to people who aren't buying the game, but they want me to make a pawn to summon that will be thrown into the pawn realm where I go in there and do all the summoning and stuff. That means it's like, oh my god, all my friends have made a pawn for me to have in my party, as many as I want, which would be awesome, right? I don't know any information on that, so that's still up in the air, but it would be really cool, right? Like, hey, Nick, I made you a pawn to put on your team. Let's go. Hey, can you summon them? That'd be great. So, plus me, main character, right? The Arisen, the main pawn, and then 2 homie pawns that they made from the character creator. That'd sound great. Anyway, that's the demo. Check that out. Give it a whirl. There's been some really crazy looking designs that people have done, and I'm sure you have done that as well. And show me. I want to see them. Okay, so this could be a controversial thing, and for anybody who's played the original Dragon's Dogma or just knows this by heart already, but the NPCs in Dragon's Dogma 2 have permadeath. They can die. That means that if you let them die on a mission, they're not coming back. These lives are high impact on it could be on the story, could be on the world building, however way you want to put it. They can only be brought back with a wake stone if you have one. Okay, and there's only a limited amount of time on doing that. Now, the reason this is because the creator wanted to make NPCs' deaths impactful to where you treat life very, very precious like. And I completely understand it. I'm used to something like that because I played Fire Emblem games, I played Suikoden games, I played Dragon's Dogma 1. We all know about permadeath, and it's a thing in this game. XCOM. So treat these NPCs with love and care, and hopefully they don't die so quickly. I'm sure it's not going to be this impossible task of keeping all these guys alive. It's just to add to the more realistic aspect nature of the game. So hopefully that doesn't steer you away. If it doesn't, great. Great. If it does, give it a chance, give it a shot. You're always welcome to try it out in the first game in case you're totally unsure about it. All right. Now, this one, just grain of salt, everyone. How long does it... Spoilers, by the way. If you don't want to hear this next part, spoilers. Sorry, I should have said that in the beginning of the video. The main story campaign. How long is it? Everybody loves to hear about how long a game is these days because these games are really expensive and they want to know if they're really getting their money's worth. Well, I say any game is worth the money if it's fun and it's enjoyable, and I've been a part of the series since the beginning, or, you know, something like that. It's 37 hours long. If you just make a beeline, just doing the main campaign, main scenario quest, that's for FF14 fans out there, the terminology, that's how long it'll take. If you're to do everything else, it'll take you hundreds of hours. Like any open world game, that's how it is. We get distracted and everything with how the world works and the systems, the quests, the loot, the monsters we're killing. It adds a ton of game time to what we got ourselves into. So 37 hours is actually great. You know, your first playthrough is probably going to be your longest, of course, because you're going to explore everything. Your second, your third, you kind of understand how the game works. You know how to trim the fat, we'll call it. And then you might complete the game even quicker than before. But trust me when I say this, this is a game that you want a lot of replay value in. And if it's too long, if it's way too long, chances are you might not come back, you know, because I want to see you guys make more characters. You know, if you ever played a FromSoft game, Soulsborne game, the replay value is endless in those games because you want to make new builds, new characters, blah, 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 blah. So I'm hoping it's a nice, cohesive experience with enough to do in it, and the story is worth our time. So let's keep it simple like that, right? All right, this next one is straight out of left field. Let's talk about the cooking features in this game, because guess what? There's campfire elements in this game, and you get to make food. You get to cook stuff like in FF15, Final Fantasy 15, that you couldn't do in Dragon's Dogma 1, which I'm totally excited about because this adds to the immersion experience and hanging out with your pawns and getting to know one another. Hopefully it works that way. Whatever, doesn't matter. It's cool. The weird thing is that they're using real meat to for whenever you're cooking a meal. It goes to, I guess when you decided to have a recipe, make something, it goes to this cutscene that's a real life piece of meat cooking. It's not CGI or anything. This is live action, live footage that Capcom and the developers on Dragon's Dogma 2 decided to do. So if anybody's vegetarian or vegan or anything, just know that this is going to happen. You're going to see this. You've been warned. Hopefully it's still a video game. No matter how you look at it, it's just a real life footage here. So yeah, that's the real interesting part. This would be the first time we've ever seen something like that in a video game on this caliber and magnitude. So good luck, and just when this happens, just blindfold yourself for something. Kiss your girlfriend. Alright, so we made it to the last part of the video, and this is the part where people might be thrown off by buying this game for consoles, and PC owners have nothing to worry about. At least I think so far. Now, I understand where you guys are coming from, so just to keep things on a more clear level and more precise, this will be the lazy part of the video where I read from the article on what we are talking about, which is the FPS, by the way. That way we're all on the same page, and I don't just make up fancy schmancy shit just to keep you guys feeling some kind of way. Dragon's Dogma 2 can never run at 60 frames per second on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S due to their slow CPUs. But a 30 FPS cap is achievable with some tweaks to the game's only display mode. So commenting on the Reset Era forums, Digital Foundry's Alexander Bataliga said that the drops to 25 FPS seen in the new footage shared online yesterday suggest the drops are caused by the game's 4K checkerboard resolution and not by CPU limitations. By reducing the resolution to 1440p, an optional 30 FPS cap should be possible to achieve a more consistent frame rate. Additionally, 60 FPS could not be achieved on consoles due to their slow CPUs. So John Lineman, also from Digital Foundry, also commented on Dragon's Dogma 2's performance on consoles, saying that an optional 30 FPS cap should be included, as the unlocked frame rate leads to poor frame pacing, which can only be salvaged by the Xbox Series X and S VRR. That's refresh rate, variable refresh rate. On PlayStation 5, the issue would be more critical, and the cap would help stabilize the experience, given how the game often runs at above 30 FPS, though not by much. It's been a topic of heated discussion in the past few weeks until director Hideaki Itsuno confirmed the game would run at uncapped frame rate. Yesterday, he further elaborated on the matter, saying that they were aiming to go at around or higher than 30 FPS, and essentially confirming there will be only a single display mode on consoles. This game releases on March 22nd. Okay, that's a lot to... that's a mouthful. That is... even with all that clarification, it's still a wonder why they are doing it this way. I get that this game is massive. It's huge. 4 times bigger than the original game's map. There's so much condensed content and just so much math involved here. I completely understand it. But with that said, me personally, I really don't like how there's not a capped frame rate to where console users can at least have the option of playing at 30 FPS like the article was stating. And, a resolution mode would be awesome, or a performance mode where, 60 FPS, lower resolution. But resolution mode would be at the 4K checkerboard, whatever it's talking about, at 30. That would be great. Fair trade, we got our options, great. But now we are under one roof and under the uncapped frame rate of the unknown on stability. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know how you guys feel about it. PC owners don't have to worry about it because 60 FPS it's all good. Computer's fine, but consoles not so much. Now, I will still get the game on PlayStation. I can see them doing patches, performance things on trying to make it better. It's happened in the past. I don't like waiting. I don't like that type of thing. I wish it was just like that from the get-go. Maybe this could have been improved upon with an actual playable demo for us players so we can have our opinions and thoughts shared, but maybe that's already been done and I just don't know it. But here we are. That's it. I could dive into it even further, but I think I've said enough. I don't want to waste your guys' time. So, with all that said, folks, those have been things you should know, about Dragon's Dogma 2. More things. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the FPS? How do you feel about the story length and the vegan stuff, the meat stuff? How do you feel about that? Let me know down in the comments below. Hey, it's okay. I think this game is going to be great no matter what. Just some weird, slight observations being made here and explanations that kind of don't make a lick of sense. Hopefully, we all have an enjoyable experience, and hopefully what I told you today did not ruin your whole fun, because that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to keep you in the now. Keep you in the no, and the now. Informed. Anyway, Pathfinders, thank you so much. I've been Nico. Take care.